Test is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, traders. Welcome to the Bookmap Platform Details webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. Risk disclaimer: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Yep. Good morning, Andrea. Good morning, others. Okay, so the goal of this webinar, for those of you who are new here, what we intend to do is go through some of the resources, show you, define what Bookmap is, show you the website, how you connect Bookmap, how you can subscribe to Bookmap, and then go through the basics in the user interface, looking at the software. And then we'll start to look at the same time, we'll start to define some of the order flow that we see. Now, when you subscribe to Bookmap, what you get is education as well. Okay, you get access to our 4-part educational course. In that course, we start with basics of order flow analysis, which even for a lot of those that are veteran traders, this is something that might be unique. And then from that, we start to expand into higher time frames, and we start to look at market structure, and then we start to look at advanced analysis. Now, we back up all of that content in the live markets with the advanced order flow webinars that you get access to when you subscribe. So you learn about Bookmap and then see it in the live markets, and during that advanced order flow webinar. Those start at 11 Eastern, immediately following this webinar here. Okay, now in that webinar, not only do we analyze current and historical levels, but we anticipate future price movement. Okay, so it's not all about just hindsight. We do it all the time. We're looking for, based on the analysis, it makes sense that price should move to a specific spot. Okay. All right, so that's the education that comes along with the software. Let's jump into bookmap.com and I'll show you the software. Okay, if you go to bookmap.com, there's an intro video here. When you continue to scroll down, just some information about Bookmap, some testimonials. There's Bookmap for equities. You can connect to US equities using Bookmap. In fact, we have later today here, and I'm going to put this into the chat for you. We have a webinar for US equities. Okay, there it is. It's in the chat. So you can click on that and you can register for this webinar by clicking on the button here. Okay, the little video here that goes through it, main features, and some FAQs at the bottom here. Okay. All right, so that's going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern time here today. Okay, so back to bookmap.com, US equities and connecting to US equities. I'll cover that in just a minute. I'm going to scroll down a bit further, and connectivity, we're going to stop here. Okay, and let's just simply define what Bookmap is. We're a software trading platform. Okay, our niche is that we have a unique way of visualizing market data, the limit orders, the transactions, basically everything, okay, in a very, very simple way. That's what other platforms, they visualize it in a different way with aggregated data, and we don't. Anyway, I'll cover that in just a minute. Now, under connectivity, since we're a platform, a trading platform, we're not a broker, nor are we a data provider. So you will need to provide data for futures and for US equities. Right now, for digital currencies, currently we subscribe, or you get free data for the GDAX exchange only. Okay, so you can trade digital currencies right from Bookmap, right from the Bookmap chart, and the data is free for that. Okay, now you'll also note under connectivity here, there's some other platforms listed: Ninja, TTX Trader Pro, and Interactive Brokers Traders Workstation. Okay, we connect via the API of these 3 platforms. So you can go that route if you like. However, we recommend connecting directly to the data provider like CQG, Rhythmic, Gain Capital, IQ Feed, Transact, and Dev Experts. Now this Dev Experts is for NASDAQ Total View, and scroll right back up here to US or Bookmap for equities, and that's how you'll connect with this DX feed is NASDAQ Total View and EdgeX. You can subscribe to either or both. All right, lots of advantages there, full depth of market. If you guys have any questions about some of the equities, I can go over them with you. I have about 10 different equities set up in the market this morning. All right, now let's scroll down a little bit further, and this is how you can subscribe to Bookmap. Okay, there's monthly subscription with a 20% discount, or I'm sorry, yearly with 20% discount, or monthly here. And you'll see there's the digital versions and the global version. So let's describe what they are. The digital version here you can see is free. It only allows you to connect to the GDAX exchange for one digital currency only. Okay, you don't get the education and you don't get full support. Now with the Digital Plus version, okay, you get full education and full support. You can trade right from the Bookmap chart into your GDAX account. You can record and replay your data. You get up to 20 different instruments at a time. And then you also have the US equities delayed data here. That also comes with the free version, okay, but it's only delayed data. So you get a taste of what that looks like. Okay, so that's for digital currencies only. Okay, now the global version will allow connectivity to futures and US equities. Okay, now you will need to provide the data though for the futures and for the US equities. Okay, you also get the advanced education and full support, and you get everything that's included in the Digital Plus. Okay, the Global Plus version over here includes everything in Global and Digital Plus. And what's more is you get access to all of our proprietary indicators. So you can trade right from the Bookmap chart into your futures account or your US equities account. The US equities, it only works with interactive brokers at the moment. Okay. And then you can see our other indicators here, like our large lot tracker. We've actually demoed that last few days, looking at larger players in the book holding the majority of liquidity. Right? Some imbalance indicators here for the book and for volume. An iceberg tracker here. So again, that's looking for larger players who don't want to show their liquidity in the book. Okay? So you can already see we're getting into some very specific behavior of larger players with some of our proprietary indicators. So the large lot tracker here, well, they want to show that high liquidity because maybe they want to bully the market. Okay. The iceberg detector here, well, they don't want to show their high liquidity because they have no intent to bully that market. They want to get filled into their position without you knowing. Okay, that they have a lot of liquidity there and they are getting filled. Okay, it's giving a lot of insight to some of these price levels and may give you some insight or hesitation to getting involved into a trade. Okay. Correlation tracker as well, adding different markets right onto the Bookmap chart. Okay. All right, so that's Bookmap. We've defined what it is. You guys know how to connect it, and we've gone through all the different subscription packages. Yeah, it's up to you. For a low fee for a month, you can try it out and see what works for you, and then always change it. No problem changing it. After that month, you can always come back and try another version. All right, social media, you can follow us here on Twitter at bookmap_pro. You can see that a few new tweets here, one about Apple and FOMC meetings here. You might want to take a look at this. Here's the DX feed as well. You can that's the webinar that we're having today at 1 p.m. And then there's a new tweet here just the other day looking at Bookmap on much higher time frames, okay? Because you can now using Bookmap. Here's the entire session in this image here. I just want to cover this because a lot of traders who come into these webinars think that Bookmap is only for scalping for a few ticks or points, and it's just not true. And why is that? Well, because you can look at the DOM on much higher time frames now. It's possible. Why is that? Because we record it historically. So this entire range here, you can see from it's even before 9 o'clock here. This is for the Nasdaq E-mini, as you can see up here, and from 9 o'clock to past 4 or 5 o'clock here. So this is the entire day. And look at all the liquidity, and look at the insight the liquidity is giving us. Now we can do that today as well. Okay, no problem. Here they are in pre-market on the bid. Okay, lots of liquidity. Look at the first initial movement was to the upside. They start to pull that liquidity once that move takes place. A little bit of well, they actually pulled in this little area here, and they traded through that area. Now, when they traded through that area, look how they went from the bid side to the offer side, okay, with very high liquidity up here. And where is this area? It's at 69.34, and there was about over 500 contracts here, okay, up at this level. All right, and where did we go down to? Well, we went down to the figure down here at 6,900, and during the webinar, we were actually looked at this little area here. No, I'm sorry, this was after the webinar. But you can see them bidding up in this area here, and we just tested the figure down here. Target would be some of this higher liquidity. Okay, now we come shy of it though, and then rotate back down. Anyway, I'll let you guys read through this. I just want to note that you can use now your DOM on much higher time frames. Okay, it's just not for the current market; it's for the historical market as well. All right, our YouTube page. Let's go through that quickly. At Bookmap here. On the home page, you can see some of these playlists that we have listed, some intro videos. You might want to watch that if you're new. Features and components, just to go through some of the features, and order flow video snippets. Now, this is what Bookmap visualizes in its unique visualization here to uncover order flow phenomena in a unique way. Okay, very concise, short videos. I'd recommend watching as many of these as you can, and take those concepts into order flow trading. Okay, this is what we really go through in detail in the advanced order flow webinars. Now let's jump into Bookmap and take a look here. You can see we have a cumulative volume delta setup or subchart here. I'm going to close that up. We have another indicator here, as you can see, our historical VWAP, and I'm actually going to close that up as well. And this blue line here is the point of control, okay, indicator. I'm going to close that. Okay, and we're just looking at the basic Bookmap chart here. Okay, we do have a sub chart here of volume as well. Okay, so yeah, nice little sell-off here. Obviously, we have some geopolitical tensions, which seems to be pretty normal these days. Regarding the North Korean summit, you can see the sell-off here, and then we have some of the trade tariffs with China, tensions there as well. Anyway, where are we going here? All right, well, looking at the chart right off the bat, this is much higher time frame. As you can see, here's our 9:30 open, and here's the current market. Okay, where are we going? Well, right down to this area of high liquidity here that looks like kind of front running the figure here at 6,900. Okay, so haven't tested quite into it yet. Big block of liquidity though. They're starting to it looks like starting to get filled in here, and we'll take a look at this. I see already some interesting stuff here. That if we zoom in a little bit, you can see some sort of spoofing activity here. Very high liquidity. Okay, but in here for a very short time. Looks like it's trying to press price up into some higher areas here. And then they actually jump on the other side here and they're pressing price down now. Okay. Anyway, we'll go over that a little bit later. All right, so let's define the elements that are on this Bookmap chart. Okay, there's three basic elements, and they're very, very simple. Okay, number one is historical best bid and offer. That's it. It's just the best bid and offer going back and forth over time. Okay, there's no aggregation here at all. Then you see these volume dots. Well, those are the transactions that took place on that historical best bid and offer. Okay? So you can see precisely where the volume is trading, what type, and how much, based on the size and color of these dots. Okay? And then that third element is the heat map. And we've already been talking about it. Down here, you can see 319 contracts at 69.02. Okay? Very, very high liquidity for the NASDAQ in these months here. And you can see that we don't even test into it yet. Okay, the sellers shy away from it. Anyway, we'll see if we get a retest back down here. You can see sellers coming right back in now. Okay. Anyway, those are the three elements on this chart, and let's define them a little bit better here with a little more detail so you guys understand what you're looking at. And we're going to use a reference here with a candlestick chart. Okay, this is a 5-minute candlestick chart. Let's zoom out a little bit here, and it's open, high, low, and close of a 5-minute period. Okay, now that's aggregated data, because it all happened within one 5-minute period, and there's really only 4 data points here: open, high, low, and close. And that's a problem because we don't know what happened within that 5-minute period. We need to break open that candle and we need to see. And we can do that very simply by just showing historical best bid and offer. Okay? So already that's helpful. Okay? It allows us to see microstructures, okay, and speeds of moves, okay, that form that candle. Okay? So all sorts of structural data in here that you can see, for example, the move down here and then the sideways consolidation, and then we broke the structure here. Okay? Right here is where the move to the upside took place, and it went sideways here for a bit, and then it broke that structure. Okay, came back up and retested where it broke from, and it did not accept. Okay, it broke down again. Okay. This is actually a pretty simple setup that we cover in the education, and we look for it all the time. Anyway, that's some of the microstructure that you're missing in the candlestick chart, and then the speed of the moves as well. You just don't see it. Okay, you're going to see maybe a big bar like this, but still you can't see like exactly how quick some of these moves took place. Like in here, you may see a quick move, but it still looks like you know, it's a shorter candle. Okay, like here's a quick move, and it's a very short candle. All right. Anyway, it's important to understand these areas, especially with the volume. Okay, and we're going to turn on the volume, and that's where we're going to see the difference here. Okay, so let's zoom into this little area here because I want to show something. Okay, all right. So, well, this is some of the microstructural stuff that I'm talking about. Okay, and this little structure here. Okay, look at the buy volume here that lifted the offer up out of this structural area. We found buyers. Buyers are starting to lift that offer, and they're in control here. Okay, in this time frame, and you can see that they moved price higher. Okay, and it accepted higher, and then we found more buyers over here, and then here's a nice sweep of the book to the upside, very quick move. That's that move I was talking about right here. Okay, and we accept up above there as well. In fact, we get a pullback to where they initiated this impulsive move, and they supported it. Okay, so we're still bullish at this time. Okay, for this time frame. Anyway, let's just zoom into the random area here because I just want to show these two elements so you guys understand what you're looking at. Okay, very simple data, but so insightful. Nice little quick book sweep here as well. But anyway, let's we'll just continue to zoom in here, and I just want to show the historical best bid and offer. So you can see the best offer is red line, and the green line is best bid. And then you see these volume dots. These are transactions that took place on the historical best offer. Okay, a little bit of latency here, but nonetheless, you know, the bid is off a little bit. It actually kind of caught up here, as you can see. Okay, they come in via two different protocol. Okay, so there's some latency every now and then. Anyway, we start to zoom into these areas, and we're showing you every single market event. We are down here at nanosecond levels on our time frame. Billionths of seconds. This is one transaction for a volume of 2. Okay, I have it in my volume profile over here. I know precisely what traded here. Okay, now you can use this data tip tool and hover over the dot. It gives you the date, the time down to these nanoseconds, and what was on the ask at this price level, and then the volume at this price level, volume of 2. Okay, so every single market event is recorded. Okay, we come from that HFT environment. But the way that we present the data to you, well, you can get every single event, or when you start to zoom out, look what we do. Okay, we aggregate it into a bigger dot for you, so you get a feel for what occurred at that area. And now I hover over this dot, it gives me volume of 10. Okay, so visually it's aggregated it. Okay, just graphically, but it's all still here. And well, you can start to understand now. Buyers lift the offer here. You can see it very clearly. And then look how they hit the bid here and move price down lower. These are very simple, basic market mechanics. Okay, and but to understand this and really understand how this market moves is really important. Okay, and we start off on part 1 of our educational course, starting to define some of these areas here for you. Okay, it might give you a unique perspective on the market that you might not be accustomed to. All right, so now let's add on that third element, and that's the heat map. Okay, and this is really the advantage that you're going to get here is with the heat map. Okay, volume and non-aggregated volume, that's an advantage, but what we really want to understand is where they're bidding and offering within the context of the transactions. And this will give us a complete picture of what's going on in the market. Okay. So you can see we're just kind of channeling here between areas of high liquidity. And then we come down into an area down here, 1625, and they pull that liquidity here. Okay. And then we see the buyers actually come in and lift it very, very quickly. Okay, a little bit of volatility here, and some back and forth, and then finally the move to the downside here. All right, so let's go to that current market, and I want to show you how we derive our data from the depth of market. Okay, and in fact, I'm going to turn off the candlestick chart. It just gets in the way. All right, so now this heat map that you're seeing, what exactly is it? Okay, well, it's looking at the dome here in Bookmap is this COB column, current order book. Okay, everything to the right of this vertical white line is the live market. Okay, this is your best bid and offer currently. Okay, here's your price ladder, and then here is your depth on the offer. Okay, these are contracts, these numeric values, contracts, traders here that want to sell at specific levels, and then over here it's buyers down below current price. They want to buy at these specific price levels. Okay, some interesting stuff just starting to occur now. It looks like we're going to come down and test our O2 area here. Looking pretty good. Let's see I'm probably get a quick move here right down into O2. Let's see if we get that. Little front running here at O3. See them come into the book. And there's our sweep. Come on, guys, a little bit more. You know you want to test it. There it is. That's what we're looking for. Okay. So nice sweep through that area of high liquidity. Now let's take a look at that liquidity here. Okay, and let's analyze it here because we want to know. That was a really important level. Okay, it was a 6902, 310 contracts. Okay. Well, 331 actually, right here, as you can see, 331. Well, what traded? 310 of those. Okay, so a lot of traders will say, well, I don't really look at the DOM. It's all meaningless. We don't really know if it's real or fake or not. Well, no, that's not true. It's just you couldn't visualize it. It's happening too quickly. Okay, well, we record it historically, so now you can see it. Okay, that traded. Majority of that traded. Everything but those 21 contracts traded here. Okay, so these guys that were waiting here in line all this time at 69.02, they are now in the market as buyers. Right? It's clear as a bell. That's fact. So now you can use this DOM to verify absorption or areas where larger players are getting filled or where they're pulling. Okay, let's go down a little bit further. Okay, down to this area here at 6,900 the figure. Well, what traded down here? Well, 123 contracts on the sell side traded here. Here's a few of them right here. About over 50, 55, and then can trade. It's continue to go back and forth here. Look at them getting very aggressive on the offer here. Okay, with 76 contracts here. Okay, this is a skew in the auction. Okay, 76 contract or 77, as you can see there. Okay, and it's a skew in this auction. They're getting very aggressive, lots of supply, very close to current price. Okay, so and then they're starting to. Some of this is trading down here, most of it is trading, but very, very high liquidity here, skewing that auction, finding more sellers as they continue to hit the bid lower and lower, looking for the target down here to the next level of high liquidity, 68.95. Okay, another skew in the book here. Okay, great stuff to see. Okay, very, very high liquidity pops into the book. Look at that, 116 contracts. The buyers start to take them on here. Okay, but only a couple of contracts, one and two contracts. That's it, right? Here it is, two. We rotate a bit lower, find more sellers, right into 95. Okay, and we'll continue on lower. But these little areas here, this is some interesting stuff to see here. How they're skewing that book, and we find more sellers, and they continue to hit the bid into lower and lower areas here. Okay. We read the move, we were anticipating that move, and it didn't take much. It just was a matter of fact of starting to understand the behavior of the traders, where that liquidity is, and starting to look for that move to take place. Okay. Now, I didn't really define the DOM here. We'll do that very quickly, and then we've got to jump to the next webinar. Okay. So anyway, we take these areas of high liquidity, and then in this window here, it's transformed into a heat map. Okay, the heat map scale is up here. Very high liquidity is red, then orange, then yellow, white, blue, and then black is low liquidity. Okay, look at they're starting to absorb here at 90. Okay, so let's see if they take them on again here, but they were not able to trade through. Okay, now they are. There we go. Okay, but you're going to start to see this, and you're going to start to see like a reversal, or at least a pullback start to form. Okay. Anyway, so we take these areas of high liquidity here. When you see the numeric value jump up, you'll see the heat map reflect that, and then it's just recorded to the right or to the left of the vertical white line here. Okay, and then now you can zoom out, okay, and you can see these areas of high liquidity and use them on much higher time frames. Okay, this was an important area here at 02. Okay, we continue on lower. Where are they on the bid? Well, here's our answer. Okay, they're here at 68.80 and then at 70 as well. So keep an eye on those, and we'll jump to the next webinar. Don't forget, we have the DX Feed Bookmap webinar for equities later at 1 p.m. You guys are invited to that if you'd like to attend. Have a good day, guys. We'll catch up with you later.